Hello everyone, my name is Nathan, and today it's time for the 4th episode of LogicBots. In today's episode, I want to make it at least through 2 puzzles if possible. I've already invested some time in order to try to solve the first puzzle. It's not easy. I'm not sure if somebody can come up with a solution that always works, 100% of the time. Now, if you have forgotten what it is all about, let's actually view the level. Right here we can see it's the same principle of a corridor, however this time we have a whole bunch of obstacles, and I'm not sure if you can do it every time. So I thought what we are going to do together today is improve the design of the previous episode and also include a new functionality. You can already see we are working with the bot from the previous time, but I took away all of the circuitry so far. So what we want to do is actually add a few more things here. This idea actually came from the comment section. This was an absolutely brilliant idea. I adapted it slightly, but what we are going to do is we're going to add a sensor in the front right here that is going to detect when we are bumping against a wall or a crate or anything of that nature. So let's click that. This is going to be the laser front. Also, I want to add a debugging tool right there, another number monitor. This one we're gonna call front monitor. Okay, with that out of the way, I don't think we have to be too precise with that, with the placement. We just want those things in the joint. Now let's see, the laser front, I'm probably gonna add somewhere along these lines, and then we also got the front monitor. Now, one thing you guys let me know is that you can actually pass through here. I mean, it is actually written on there. I'm not sure why I haven't used that. But in the previous episode, I used 2 splitters, and we actually only have to use 1, if I'm not mistaken. So what we should be able to do is input directly into the left monitor this time in order to monitor the left laser number, and then we pass it through into the splitter, and therefore it should be working without a second splitter. Now, of course, I will have to see if that is really the case, but let's do the same thing right here. We're gonna hook those things up. Come on, and then we're gonna add a splitter right there and pass through. There we go. Now the next thing we're going to need are still the static values, so I'm gonna add them right here at the beginning. The static values I'm going to bump up a little bit. I needed a little bit more leeway, so I'm just gonna do 1.5. If you don't remember, we had 1 the previous time, which meant basically as soon as the left laser goes below 1 or above 1, then certain things are going to happen. Really, if you don't understand what I'm talking about here, you should watch the previous episode and then everything becomes clear. We are still doing the same exact thing as before. So the first thing we want to check is less than. If the number is less than the left laser, so we can add that right here and there. We're also going to do the same thing for the other side. But yeah, we will have to see how that turns out. So we are checking the first condition, less than. In the previous design, this went directly to the OR gate. So I think that's also something we have to add. We have to add 1 OR gate for each motor here, and one of them is going to activate this, I think. Yeah, the right laser is going to activate this OR gate, and the left laser is going to activate this OR gate. Next up, we also wanted to check greater than, and now we can actually do this quite compact, I have to say. If it is greater than, we want to do something, same thing right here. If the right laser is greater than 1.5, then we want to go to an AND gate. So both of these conditions have to be true. Both of the lasers have to be above 1.5. And if that is the case, then the vehicle will just go straight. And that means we are going to require another splitter in order to bring this signal to both of our OR gates that are going to activate our motors. So this is a simplified, we just got rid of 2 splitters basically. It's the same design as the previous episode. So maybe we're gonna have a little test drive just to see that, yeah, we have done things wrong. Of course, I totally forgot to hook this up to the right and left motor. There we go. Let's start this again. And what we should be seeing is the wobbliness of the previous episode. Yeah, right now we are bumping into this thing. And of course, at this point, we would want to do something with the sensor. Right now, obviously, we could wait. It is working to some degree. In a short moment, we are going straight again, but then we are gonna bump against this wall or the next wall. It doesn't matter. I usually don't make it through the maze. Well, I actually made it pretty far this time. This is incredible. Wow! But no! Look at that! We actually made it with the previous design. I don't believe this. But this was an absolute coincidence, guys. You have to trust me. It doesn't work all the time. But there seem to be designs you can use that go apparently faster with less budget and less parts. Anyways, maybe let's test this again to see in which problems we would usually run. Well, the first problem is right here. Let's see if that replicates every time. Yeah, basically it goes into that carton all the time. And that is what I want to prevent. I want to make sure that most of the time our design can make it through the maze. I don't think we can do it every time, but most of the time. And for that we're gonna use the front monitor. Let's say if it is below 0.5, the detection of the front monitor, then we want to turn towards the left side. We could also choose the right side, but I think since the first curve goes towards the left side, we should actually do that, because I'm running into problems more here than with the other corner for some reason. So let's test this out. We're going back into the design mode, and this time we're gonna check the front laser. It's gonna output or input into the front monitor, and then we're gonna pass it through. Let's see. We want to have another one of these guys, a static value. Now we could actually use a splitter. No, let's just use another one. In this one, we're going to add 0.5, I think is a good number, you know, half a meter. And as soon as we reach half a meter, then we want to do something. So if this number goes below, do we have to use? Yeah, we have to use this one. So if the sensor goes below 0.5, we hook this up and this one here. Then we want to reverse either the right motor or the left motor. We just have to test it out, you know? Let me actually go for the left motor first. If we turn off the left motor, then as I said, we have a tendency to go towards the left side. So let me test this out. Maybe this already works. So as soon as this should go below 0.5, we should be, yeah, turning towards the left. So we kind of avoided this. And also this wall here, you saw, it wanted to go towards the right, but then decided otherwise. That is pretty good. Okay, we ran into a problem here, I see. So let's try this again. Let's see. I mean, we are doing a very good job with the first few obstacles and this wall right here. We should be turning towards the left, exactly. And now this sensor, yeah, it's helping us out. Beautiful. Okay, this time, no. We just egg on with this sensor. I don't believe this. Maybe there is a way to prevent that within the design. So if we go ahead and move this part slightly more towards the right side, then we might be able to detect these obstacles sooner. I'm not sure. We're also gonna move this guy a little bit, maybe over there. Okay, that should be good. It's still more or less symmetrical. Let's test this again. Let's see what it does now. It should behave a little bit differently as it measures the distances. Okay, so far still the same. That's good. Taking... Come on, turn right. Yes, baby. That's what I wanted to see. And now... Turn. Yes! Oh no! We're going back! Okay. This crate is a little bummer here. Let's see what it does, actually. Maybe we're still making it through. I don't know. Though it does go around the obstacles quite elegantly at points. Let's do it again. I'm sure this time we're gonna have a different outcome. I'm just gonna increase the time a little bit. Or go making it around here. That's still the same. It did something weird there. Come on, show me what you got. Left and right. Yes, we might have to play around with the distances here. Okay, we made it around. This looks good, Okay, nice. But this was a little bit of a coincidence as well. We made the time, actually. Let's see if we can replicate this by increasing the time, I wonder. Yeah, okay, this was actually repeatable here with almost the same time. Let's do it again. If I manage to do it right away again, I'm actually gonna be happy with that solution. We don't have to have the perfect solution. Cool. Let's try to do it slowly to make sure that the simulation doesn't mess up. Okay, it's still behaving in the same way. Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's all based on mathematics. I don't think there is a whole lot of room for randomness the way I did this. 25 seconds this time. There's a little bit of randomness, but you know, that's fine. I'm gonna be happy with that solution. Let's see what's up next. We got the color maze as the last puzzle of the first category here. There are, of course, quite a few more puzzles. And some of them are still locked. Wow, I cannot imagine what you have to do over there. This is gonna be crazy. But let's do the color maze. Let's have a look into this. Objectives. Yes, view the level. Oh no. Do we have new abilities here? Maybe to detect red or blue color? Because it looks like when you detect red, you have to turn right, and when you detect blue, you have to turn left. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense here. Let's check out the new sensor in this case. I mean, there must be a new one. Let's see, which body are we gonna use? Yeah, I'm actually gonna use the straight body for this one here. Why the heck not? And then we want to check out the sensors. Yeah, of course. We have a color sensor and an electronic compass. What? Outputs its rotation relative to magnetic wow! Oh, nice! You can actually make perfect degree turns. I love this. What if we place this guy right here? I just want to see where is actually north. Yeah, north seems to be up there. Or is this? Yeah, this must be north, right? So at the moment we are facing in a 180 degrees angle. Let's say I wanted to make a turn into this direction towards the right side. Then the arrow would have to point here, so we would have to calculate minus 90 degrees in order to take a right turn and plus 90 degrees in order to take a left turn. Cool, let me think about this for a little bit and then I'm gonna be right back. And there we go, guys. We are actually back, and holy cow, man. I've spent about 2 hours off camera right now in order to figure this out, and I'm not even sure if it works. I'm pretty sure I'm at least close to what I want to achieve. So what do we have here? We have our buggy. I just wanted to test out the big wheels. I'm not sure if we are going to be a little bit too big for the track, but we will see. And also I added the compass, of course, then we got the color sensor, we got a couple of these number monitors. One is gonna monitor the color number and another one is gonna monitor the compass number. Now, what do I mean with a color sensor number? If I hover over this here, you can actually see the color keys at the bottom of the list there. What we had was the red color, which represents 1, and then also the blue color, which represents 4. So these are our 2 numbers we have to deal with. So at the moment you can see I've already placed everything, I prepared everything the way I wanted it to be laid out. If we have a look at the functional gates, we can now see we have access to a couple more, for instance the counter, which is exactly what I'm gonna use. I've also implemented a start pulse, even though I'm not 100% sure this is absolutely necessary. It just felt a little bit more clean to use it. So why don't we go ahead and actually think through this together. I'm going to pop up my window here again in order to write a couple of sentences to help me put this logic situation in plain English. First of all, let's define a couple of variables. We're gonna go with S for sensor, C for compass number, and also A for the actual angle we have, or we want. Now, one cool thing I realized very late into trying this out is that you actually have a cumulative rotation. So we are of course going to use that because we know the starting rotation is at 0. And if we want to turn towards the right side, we want to have minus 90 degrees on the cumulative rotation. And then if we want to turn towards the left side, we add another plus 90, which means it's going to be at 0 again. This is much easier than to work with the absolute rotation, at least in this example. Therefore, we can also use this bad boy. Let's go ahead and add a little counter. I'm going to place that, well, approximately here maybe, and you can see it starts at 0. However, I want to make sure it actually starts at 0, and this is where the start pulse comes in. So we could place that, this here would be quite a good position for it, or maybe at the bottom. I'm not sure. Let's just reset this bad boy and also reset the cumulative rotation. Even though, you know, theoretically they start at 0 and it's not absolutely necessary, but it feels cleaner. Good, and now we can continue. We're gonna require a couple of static values in order to make this work. Now, let me explain you how I want to actually calculate the angle. So we're gonna do this with a multiplication here. If we think about this, and we might want to start with a static value. Let's see, I'm gonna add 2 of those guys because we're gonna need quite a few of those. I'm gonna start with 90 degrees, that's our angle. We only take 90-degree turns. So what we could do is hook this up. Let's see, we want to hook this one up times 90 degrees. So if we have 0 times 90 degrees, that means we start at 0 degrees. However, if we add 1 right here, then we would have 1 times 90, which would be 90 degrees or turning towards the left side. If we subtract 1, that means minus 1 or minus 90 degrees, ergo turning towards the right, if I'm not mistaken. Another thing we are going to definitely require is the number 1, which represents red, and the number 4, which represents blue. Okay, so now that we got this out of the way, I can continue with my little sentences documents. We can already add what we have here. For instance, reset the counter to 0 and the compass to 0. Okay, I would say this is probably more or less what we have so far. What is also important, let's think about this. So if the sensor is equal to 1, of course, then we want to, let me think, add or subtract? Yeah, I think if we detect red, we want to subtract from counter, okay? And after that, we want to multiply it with 90 degrees, which we already have in order to get the A, the angle. If the sensor detects 4, then we want to add to the counter and multiply again with 90 degrees to get the A, the current A. What else do we have to take into consideration? The compass number, of course. So if the compass number is smaller than A, then we want to turn on the left motor, because turning on the left motor is gonna make us turn towards the right side. And if the compass number is smaller than the angle we actually want, then we have this situation. At least that's what's happening in my mind. I'm not sure. We have to test it with the circuits. If the compass number, however, is bigger than A, we want to turn on the right motor, and finally, we could also have that it is equal to A, which is what we actually want in order to go straight. Then we want to turn on the left motor and the right motor. Okay, with that out of the way, we should be able to do it. Let's first add a couple of equal signs. Can I add them right here? I think so, yeah. We have to check the color sensor because we want to fulfill the first condition. If the sensor detects the number 1 or the red color, then we want to multiply with 90 degrees to get A. Okay, that means we're gonna need multiple signals for the color sensor. We're gonna use the pass-through here, but we are gonna compare this number twice to those numbers here. If it is 1 or if it is 4. Then, judging from our sentences, if it is 1, we want to add to the counter. So this one is going to go to the add button, and this one is going to go to the subtract button. And we start at 0, which is perfect, because at the beginning we have to go straight, right? Then if the color sensor detects the number 1, it will add to this and therefore change the angle to... We should change it to minus 90 degrees actually if we detect red, because red is the first color. Yeah, detecting red, we want to change it to minus 90 degrees. I'm a little bit confused about that. Sometimes I just exchange these, but maybe we're gonna do that. Yeah, I think I got that wrong here. We would want to add here on the top and subtract at the bottom. Makes more sense now. However, we have stored the angle in this number right here with this calculation, right? So this is the angle that we want, and with this functionality we change the angle as we need it, as we detect new walls. Next up, we need to take care of the compass number, and we also need about 2 signals for that. Let's add that maybe here. Why the heck not? We're also going to switch the color here so we don't get confused. We're going to use the pass-through right there. Okay, now we need to compare. We have the sentences smaller or bigger than. That means we're gonna add a less than and bigger than or greater than. And we of course want to check those. If the compass number is smaller than the angle right here, and of course we're gonna need another splitter to make this work, right? Let's add a splitter right there, and we're gonna compare these 2 values here. If the compass number is smaller than the angle, our target angle we calculated here, then we want to turn on the left motor, so that actually adds up perfectly, okay. And with this we want to turn on the right motor. I think we've done it with that. Oh no, the last condition. If C equals A, left motor and right motor. Oh, this is bad. How do I add that? Wait. I have an idea. Let me actually see. At the moment, we shouldn't... Oh, yeah, we are not going. Okay, I have an idea for this. Actually, I think, let me add that in my notepad. What we could do here, we could make this easier because I do remember that from previous puzzles. What we could do is add a NOT gate here and instead add the right motor. And here we're gonna add a NOT gate and instead add the left motor. And we can remove this line, I believe. Let me see that again. We're gonna add a couple of NOT gates. Where do we have them? Right there and right here. We're gonna add those in between. And now let's see how we can do this. Oh, no. Oh, that's not good. Oh, yeah, of course. I have to actually cross those cables. Is this going to work? Oh man, look at that. All the fine corrections. It's a little bit wobbly. Maybe we should... Oh no, it's turning in the wrong direction. Oh. We are at -1 here. Okay, didn't we reset? Ah, I see why the reset is necessary. This thing just remains at whatever it was left at. That's mighty interesting. So maybe let's exchange those guys. I'm not sure. I'm so confused sometimes thinking this through. But maybe we are just turning into the wrong direction and now this is going to work. Oh, guys, no! Come on! Oh, it works! It works! Oh, this is amazing! Look at that! It tries to adjust for everything. Oh man, this is not good. Maybe I used the wrong vehicle for that, but this is absolutely grandiose. Turning. Let's speed this up a little bit. I think, yeah, we're gonna be successful. Oh guys, this took a lot of time, but we did it. Woo. No! You bastard! Okay, I'm sure we can do this. I'm sure there is just the probability that we are failing this. Let's see how we are doing this right now. Don't go into the hazardous zone. No, yeah, turn smoothly. Yeah, nice. Okay, we did it. Amazing, we did it with, what was that? Like no, that's not the budget. I want to check the objectives. What was that? Complete the level using the GX52 twin motor framework. Okay, that was actually an achievement using this massive vehicle. But there we go, guys. We did it. I'm so glad. Wow. Okay, I have to wrap this up. I'm gonna have to edit the footage, hopefully make this at least somewhat endurable for you guys, and hopefully also entertaining and educational. And of course, you can always let me know when you have suggestions for improvements and other tips. I'm always glad to become a little bit better at thinking through this stuff. But it's not just whether or not you are capable of logical thinking, it's also a little bit of a learning curve, I would say, or a lot of a learning curve. But anyways, guys, with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time, and hopefully I'm going to catch you in the next episode. Bye bye.